and welcome to Progressive Grocer today. I'm Emily Crow, editor-in-chief of Progressive Grocer. We're taking a deep dive into vital, market-changing topics that often affect both daily operations and the longer-term future of the grocery industry. Joining me today is Cyndi Loza, senior editor at Progressive Grocer sister brand Path to Purchase Institute and our resident retail media expert. Cyndi is here today to help us break down P2PI's annual retail media network ratings report and give us a few nuggets of wisdom from the report. Cyndi, thank you for being here.
No, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So let's start by breaking down Path to Purchase Institute's 2026 annual retail media network ratings report. That is a mouthful, but it's very important. Tell us what the report entails and how it was produced.
Sure. So, a bit of background. The Path to Purchase Institute has been around for more than 30 years, focused on serving the needs of the commerce marketing community. And as part of this, for the last 3 decades, we've produced research reports, often polling our CPG brand community on the major trends and issues affecting them. Retail media was a space we started exploring very early on. And in 2020, we began asking our commerce marketing community as part of an annual survey to rate the retailer media networks with which they work based on their relative strengths across key performance and capabilities. This is our seventh straight year of doing this report. This year, we had about 166 survey participants who worked at either a CPG brand organization or an agency with CPG brand clients, and a total of 21 RMNs were rated.
Awesome. So, at a high level, how did those RMNs fare in the ratings this year?
Amazon, Walmart, Kroger, Instacart, and Walgreens led the pack in this year's report, depending on the key area you look at.
Mhm.
But if you dive deeper, I think the findings from this year's report underscore a maturing landscape where multiple networks are showing strengths in certain areas, or at least year over year improvements. Now, as I mentioned, we asked survey takers to rate the retailer media networks that they work with on the relative strengths across key performance metrics and capabilities. Those key areas are targeting effectiveness, measurement capabilities, ROI, data sharing, sales growth, creative freedom, traffic driving capabilities, and self service capabilities. Similar to past reports, it's hard to pick a clear winner because ratings can vary depending on the area you're looking at. But just to share a few highlights on why I said Amazon, Walmart, Kroger, Instacart, and Walgreens led the pack. 92% of survey takers that work with Amazon ads gave the network at least a good or excellent, very good
Wow.
rating for targeting effectiveness. Kroger Precision Marketing earned a good rating or higher for 91% of participants for measurement capabilities. Walgreens Advertising Group got a good score or higher from 91% respondents for sales growth. Instacart earned at least a good score from 81% of survey takers for creative freedom. And Walmart Connect got a good score or higher from 86% of survey takers that work with the network for traffic driving capabilities. I should say that while who led the pack in each performance metric or capability varied, Amazon Ads, Walmart Connect, Kroger Precision Marketing, Instacart, and Walgreens Advertising Group generally performed well across all areas. But Emily, RMNs, most RMNs in the broader landscape did pretty well too. Just to name a few highlights, CVS Media Exchange earned good or higher marks for ROI, data sharing, creative freedom, traffic driving capabilities, and self service capabilities from at least 73% of participants that work with the network. A majority of those that work with the Home Depot's Orange Apron Media Network gave it at least a good score across metrics, notably earning a good score or higher in ROI from 85% of participants. And at least 70% of survey takers that work with Target's Roundel gave the RMN a good score or higher for targeting effectiveness and traffic driving capabilities.
Wow, those are some really high numbers. So, what can you tell us about CPG brands' current perceptions of RMNs? Where are they at with, the current landscape?
Yeah, so as RMNs have evolved, so has their industry reputation. 71% of respondents told us in the report that RMNs are as effective or more effective than other digital media. Specifically, if we break it down, 41% shared RMNs are effective, but no more so than other digital media.
Hmm.
One survey taker explained that RMNs are powerful commerce activation tools, but not inherently more effective media channels. Their value lies in closing the loop between ad exposure and purchase, but they should be viewed as a complement to broader media,
Okay.
not a replacement. 30% of survey takers also told us that RMNs are more effective than other digital media. One survey participant that answered this way shared their ROAS through retail media campaigns consistently outperforms investments in other
Wow.
areas such as social ads. But, there are folks that remain unconvinced. 19% of survey takers said RMNs are a simple money grab for the retailer, which is a jump from 8% last year. One survey taker from an agency explained that in their experience, conversations with RMNs typically focus on adding or increasing investment with not enough accountability to results. Even when strong results aren't being delivered, there's still an ask or this expectation to spend more with no game plan for how to improve results in future investments. Lastly, 10% of survey takers couldn't decide, highlighting that there is an inconsistency in value across RMNs, with some offering high value and others feeling like a money grab.
Okay. So, where are those CPG brands investing with RMNs? And were there any surprises from what you learned?
Yeah, so this year we asked survey takers to share how their or their clients' marketing budgets are allocated across certain
Mhm.
channels. And we found that on average, brands are allocating one third of their marketing budgets to retail media, followed by 21% to social media, 20% to in store, 11% to digital out of home, and 26% to something else. When we asked them to rate the importance of certain retail media tactics, search was very important, if not extremely important, to nearly 80% of survey takers, followed by three quarters saying on site display ads are at least very important to them. 71% also said sponsored product ads are at least very important, and 65% said that the same for social. This is more or less in line with last year's report, so no surprises there as far as leading tactics. But looking at significant changes, the importance of retailer mobile apps declined this year from compared to last year. Last year, 65% said it was at least very important to them, compared to 50% this year.
What are the main challenges or gaps in retail media that were reported? I know there are still issues. We're still basically early days with RMN. So, what did you see there?
So, yeah, lots to talk about here. When we asked participants to identify what's been most challenging in working with RMNs, 33% of participants pointed to increased costs, minimum spend
Mm.
requirements, and budget, which is a slight increase from last year's report. 22% of survey takers also pointed to the complexity of managing multiple RMNs, followed by 14% highlighting the lack of consistent measurement across retailers, 11% pointing to data sharing and lack of data, and 11% indicating a difficulty to align with goals. I want to note that our question related to RMN challenges was open ended. Our research team reviewed qualitative feedback and categorized it to present it in a chart form. But just to share a few of the comments that came in, one CPG brand manager told us they don't have the budget to support every RMN, so they end up cutting budget from long tail retailers and only focus on the top 2 to 4 RMNs. One agency professional in senior management pointed to lack of standardization across metrics and reporting measurement, which we hear a lot about, and how every RMN uses terms differently and interchangeably without understanding the implications of it. But he also added that all RMNs have incredibly different specs to activate, making it difficult to stand up campaigns quickly when needed. And just for you, Emily, I looked at challenges specifically in the grocery
Yeah.
channel. And one agency director told us that aligning product promotions with sourcing in the fresh produce industry can be
Uh-huh.
challenging because of the perishable nature.
Sure.
Produce buys are impulsive, so it can be challenging to reach the customer when they are likely to go in to buy produce on impulse, not always on promotion. Another agency professional told us that for them, the fundamental challenge in proving that rising ad costs on crowded digital grocery platforms can profitably drive incremental sales while also measuring how those online ads influence the vast majority of purchases, which still happen in physical aisles of retailers. So there's definitely a lot to unpack with the challenges.
Mhm.
And for this year's report, I plan to make a lot of these comments available to members for the Path to Purchase Institute.
Great. So finally, the report also looks at the next frontier of retail media. So, where are we headed? What's coming up next? What are the things that are going to be most important?
Yeah, so this will probably come as no surprise to you. But when we asked survey takers to look at the next frontier or up and coming areas in retail media, AI was top of mind.
Sure.
57% of survey takers pointed to AI powered tools for campaign automation and optimization. Half of survey takers also selected in store retail media and omni channel audience tracking, followed by dynamic creative and personalization by way of AI, highlighted by 44%, and predictive analytics by way of AI, selected by 43% of survey takers.
Great. Well, Cindy, thank you for these wonderful insights and thank you for being here today.
No, thanks so much for having me.
For more information about the Progressive Grocer Today podcast, please visit www.progressivegrocer.com/podcasts. You can also subscribe to this series wherever you typically listen to podcasts, including on Apple, Google, and Spotify. See you next time, and thanks so much for listening.